everyone, I'm Caroline and this isn't Phil. We've had a major disaster tonight. We're staying at Hastings and we decided to look after little Max, our grandson, for our daughter-in-law and son to go out for the evening. And then Max decided he wasn't going to go to sleep. So Phil has been upstairs getting him off to sleep. He's just come through the door now. So, just in case he hadn't arrived in time, I got Dinosaur. I'm trying not to speak too loudly, so you may need to turn your volume up a little bit. Oh, straight away, thank you so much, Jeff. We got a super... Oh, wait a minute. We got two super chats already. Jeff said, super sticky glue fund donation so we can see you fix more kettles in the shed. A big hello from Hampshire to you all. From Jeff, thank you ever so much, Jeff, a £10 super chat. And Jill Tabor, towards whatever Phil needs to begin filming regular Phil's Shed Shenanigans segments. Getting in fast so I don't interrupt him this week. Oh, thank you. Well, he's only just coming in now. He'd come in the door and I said, time is running very short, but he's got here. Here he is. And do you need the hat?
I just thought they might think it wasn't me because we had the dinosaur with the hat on, so I thought I should put the hat on as well. Yeah.
I should have warned everybody really, shouldn't I? As soon as I turned the camera on, if this is your first time on the show, this is not Phil, but now this is Phil.
And as you can see, Caroline set the camera for all midgets.
Yes.
So I'll sit like this for the rest of the evening.
Just a second.
Are you
up now?
Yes.
I didn't have Phil here to do the sort of pre-filming bit.
I've been sat in the dark for an hour and 40 minutes and literally, have we got the speaker down here?
Yes, over there.
Right, we've got a speaker in case he wakes up because he literally went to sleep at 9 o'clock. I've got the light shining on the wall with the time.
Unfortunately, I was about a minute behind putting the countdown on, so Phil got here, walking through the door, like, oh.
As he went, I stood up and I creeped into the door.
I thought I could hear the floorboard going outside his bedroom door, so I thought, this bodes well. Oh, you look gorgeous. Doesn't he look gorgeous?
That's because I've been lying down, trying to pretend I'm asleep so that you go to sleep.
So, thank you so much for the super chats, and thank you all for joining us. Oh, Jeff, interrupt the film. Thank you, Jeff. That's very kind of you. Well
Jeff,
interrupted.
You can interrupt me anytime.
Thank you so much, Jeff. We really appreciate that. Right, so tonight we didn't have the printer, so Phil has handwritten the questions. He's got his questions. Look at this. Look at that. Oh, you haven't got the answers there.
Yeah.
Oh, you naughty, naughty people. You were trying to see the answer then. I could see you.
Sorry.
Uh-oh. Phil may at any time have to... Oh, dear. Sounds like Max is back awake again.
I'll leave it to it a minute.
Right, okay then. So it's all down to me again. This could be a while because Max tends to take a long time to settle and he's moved from a cot into a bed. And so you can't just put him in his cot, sit by him and chat to him. He can now get out if he wants to. So it's a much more technical job. But we got there. And then we didn't get there. So shall I bring Dinosaur back? Do you want to see Dinosaur? I'll bring Dinosaur back. I feel lonely all on my own. Give me 30 seconds. There we go. There. I don't feel alone now. I'll shut the door. I'm not very organised tonight, are we? Right, so let's get started now. I'm all on my own now, so you have to try and bear with me. I'm going to show you some finds. Now, Phil washed these before we left, so they're looking all posh and clean. And I'll show you my favourite jar, which has a marble in it. Oh, and lots of water, which has now landed on my computer. Oop. So there we go, we found that marble. Look at that. What a terrible job of washing that marble. You can tell he was rushing. So, out of a cod bottle. But this is my... Oh, look at me now. Up in my trousers. Look at that jar. And it says... I'll put my glasses on. Melon Food Limited, London. I just love that. The fact it says London on it as well. And we found it a long way from London. But it had got there probably... I wonder if this travelled on a horse and cart all that way. Might have done, from London to Manchester. Oh, I tell you what's more likely. It probably went by canal because in those days there was a lot of canal travelling. So, canal freight, I suppose we could call it. So that could well have travelled to where it was on a barge, which is even more exciting, isn't it? It's a well-travelled bottle or jar. It's a screw top, so it's not one of the oldest, but I just love this. It's one of those solid jars. I'm going to do something with it, but I don't know what. I fancy putting that in my kitchen, it's so nice. But I may use it to keep my paintbrushes in. Or Phil may decide he's going to use it down the shed for something. A big thank you to everybody who commented on enjoying the Phil in the shed bit that we put in our video yesterday. He really loved doing it. He's got it all set up with his desk now. So we asked whether or not you wanted to see more of this, and most of you seem happy. As you can see by the super chats today, definitely people are encouraging Phil to spend more time down in the shed. So that is going to become... I won't say we'll do it every week because Phil can be quite busy, so some weeks he won't be able to do it, but we'll try and get it into the videos most weeks. I feel very echoey in this room. We normally in our smaller office, this is a huge living room, so do I sound as if I'm in some sort of echo chamber or cave? Let me know. Jill said, do we know what it contained? No, I haven't found out yet. It just is a food jar, so it wouldn't have been jam because the top is too small. So what would have come in something like that? It wouldn't have been dried. I don't think that was sugar or flour or something like that. Wouldn't have been butter or anything like that. It could have been oil, I suppose. Cooking oil or custard. You could have poured custard out of it, yes. I don't think it... Does anybody know... Whoops, dinosaur's falling. Does anybody know what could have been in it? This dinosaur's been drinking. Sit up. I'm going to have trouble tonight. Right it. Flower Girl in Ward 17 said, isn't it Merlin's baby food? Now that's interesting. Yes, because if you'd had baby food in you, that would have been the consistency that you could have poured it out. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Now Bottle Digging with Kyle said, I have ones that say infant food, so chances are then it was baby food. Oh, thank you. Jill said she was wondering if it was baby food. Oh, I know what I haven't done. You didn't remind me. I go to the top of my chart. Who was first in? Well done, Lexi. You beat Adam. And second place was Adam, and third place was West Country Mudlarks as the first three in. So well done. And Penny Howard just got in there at number 4. Somebody, Adam, tonight is watching with his nan. So, hello, Adam's nan. Nice to see you. Right, go back down to the bottom of my chat again. See if anybody's commenting that I sound that I'm in a bit of a hollow room. Ed Creative said, standing Phil is looking a bit green. He is, isn't he? Just can't get the staff. I know, Charlotte. He's okay. As long as he sits still, we'll be all right. Phil hopefully will be back before 9:30. Right, we'll keep an eye on the time. It's about 8 minutes past 9 now. Oh, Karen Bosher said, I've arrived late. Where is Phil? We're at our son's in Hastings. He and his wife have gone out for the evening, left us babysitting, and it's not going well. Max is happy enough. It's just that he doesn't want to go to sleep. Phil got him to sleep. The second he was asleep, came down the stairs, and he walked straight back up. So Phil's gone back up the stairs. But he does love Grandad to put him to bed. Or, as he's now called, Grandpa. Right, so we'll have a look at another one of our finds. Now this one, Sarah from Docking Bay 21 gave us, and look at that. Now it has got the top snapped off there, but that is not a problem. It is still beautiful. Which way up is it? I don't know if you can see that. Not to be taken, but Sarah took it, gave it to us, we've taken it, so an awful lot of law breaking going on here. But I don't think I'll ever tire of the blue or the green poison bottles. White ones, I think eventually I'll think, I've seen enough white ones now, but the blue and the green. But jury's still out on which one I prefer. I quite like the green. I feel I should like the blue, but I think I prefer the green ones. What do you reckon? I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, but I'm trying to do everything at the moment, so I may neglect a few things. Lisa said, I love cobalt blue glass. And Jill said, such a glorious colour, so I'll take it you were really into the blue. I'm tempted by the green. Perhaps it's because my friend here's green. He's making me a bit biased. Right. Yep, just keeping an eye out for anything important going on. Not that nothing's important. And if you're new here, today, this is your first time, or you've never delved into the chat, just dive right on in. Everybody, I point you because this is where the chat is coming up in my room. Just dive on in, join in some conversation. If you type at and then somebody's name, if you want to comment on something they've said, it'll come up and it'll highlight them in red so they'll know you're speaking to them. Everybody's so friendly, you can really have fun in that chat, and you don't have to be a regular to join in. Just jump on in there, get chatting. Right, Pleasant Valley Picker said, what happened to Phil? We're babysitting, we're in Hastings, and our grandson's decided he doesn't want to sleep, so Phil's upstairs at the moment. Right, I don't really know what's in this basket. Phil just washed it all before we left and popped it in. So, I've seen it all before, but I didn't know what we were showing on the show tonight. Let's have a look. So this one says, Fletcher and Holt, Manchester. Now, Phil loved this one. On the back it says Fletchers and Holt, Collyhurst, Manchester. So there we go. It must be somewhere in Manchester called Collyhurst. And it's really nicey. I think that's a blob top. But look at all the cracks in that. I'll show you. If they're smooth, you wouldn't cut your finger on them. So I don't think they're right the way through. Even when I rub my nail on, I can't feel the edge. Then again, they must be right the way through. So there they are. I did see a bubble. Always like a good bubble. There we go. Can you see that bubble there? There. There's a bubble. I love bubbles in glass. I don't know why. It's just what would be seen, I suppose, as a flaw in manufacturing, but I think it gives them character. So, well, and that we haven't got white. We've got cream. There are. His horn is sort of white. Can you see it's like an aqua colour, that one? It's really nice. A greeny aqua. Not completely aqua. A bit more green. Basically, Sarah said, yes, just round the corner. Oh, so that hadn't travelled far then. It's a beer bottle. So there we go. A beer bottle from very close to home. Oh, Ed Creative said, don't like blue bottles, but love blue bottles. Oh, the blue bottles don't half sting. Now, Tinkering Twin said, blob top beer, always fun to see. I wonder who invented the term blob top. I wonder if when they made it, they thought, well, we could give it a proper sensible name, but blob top sounds so much more fun. Obviously, it does have a proper name, and we all call it blob top because we like it, because it's a fun name. Because blob top does not seem a sort of official name, does it? Not the sort of name you would think that everybody, when they're coming up with a name for their product, would come up with. Catherine Moore said you can only see the fracture from certain angles. Yes, it is strange that. The shame is that there's so many fractures on it, pretty much whichever way you look at it, you'll see one. But again, that just adds to the charm. I don't see a problem if you want to display that, then that's really nice. I think, though, if it took a crack now, it would just break up into pieces. But it is lovely. Lynn Bean said chunky top. Yeah, chunky top. Chunky, that sounds quite nice as well. Like chunky Kit Kat. I love chunky Kit Kats. I hope you got your snacks and your beverage of choice this evening. If you want to let me know when I catch sight of it, I'll have a little read and see what you're having. I got water. Not terribly exciting, I know. Yes, Jan said you're going to have to do the quiz by yourself. Good point. Let's have a question. Now, I don't know as much of the information as Phil. I didn't prepare the quiz, so we really are just going to be reading what's down there. So let's have a look. There we go. Right, so if any of you saw the answers, be honest. You're not going to, are you? Right then. So one of the things we found was a coconut, which, no, Phil didn't bring out coconut. And so he's based his first question on that, and he says the word coconut came to Europe in the 15th century, after which explorers found the tropical island of the Indian Ocean. Right, so they went to the Indian Ocean and found coconuts. Now we've got, it's very cryptic. I've got the answers here, but I don't know what the question is. I think the question is, were the explorers A, Spanish, B, English, or C, Portuguese? I hope I'm asking you the right question. I may not be. So, the explorers who found the islands of the Indian Ocean, were they A, Spanish, B, English, or C, Portuguese? Oh dear. I think I got his code now for which was the right answer. Otherwise, it would have been all just a formality. Oh wow, look at all these answers. I've got to find this on my own. Let's have a look. Has anybody come up with the right... yes, we got our first right answer in. Well done for everybody who's guessed. I would have had no idea at all. I don't think so. Spanish, English or Portuguese. I think I would have guessed at Spanish. Just because, I don't know, I would have. And Spanish was A and it would have been wrong. So sorry to anybody else who would have guessed the same as me. And B, English. Wrong. The answer is C, Portuguese. So our first right answer, sorry if this isn't right, but on my screen it's what's coming up, it's the order it comes up in. So on my screen, the first person in was Tepper F, so well done Tepper. And second place was Jeff, well done Jeff. And third place was All That Glitters. So well done you three, I am impressed because I had no clue. But well done to everybody else as well, because I think it is very clever that you even tried to guess, because I'm clueless when it comes to that. Oh, Phyllis pulled over on Interstate 75 to say hello. Hello, Phyllis. And I'm assuming she's gone again, so she can't even see that Phil's looking a bit green this evening. Oh. Oh, Bottle Deal with Kai says, I don't have Google, so I can't do the quizzes. Right. Oh, Catherine said, I got one right. Well done, Catherine. Right, so let's have another find. And I'm not sure why certain ones are in here and why they're not, but this one is, oh, just a second. I've got to check in case these are anything to do with the questions. So if I check there, right, oh, that mail-in bottle was part of a question. Don't tell Phil I got it wrong, will you? Will you sit still? Oh, this crazy dinosaur. Definitely been drinking something, I'm sure. Right, so there is a question on mail-in foods, which we'll have next. And oh, we're okay. The answer to the question is not what we just worked out. Right, so I've got this one. This is a Lee and Perrins bottle, and it says, oh, it's very scratched and Worcester sauce, I suppose that's going to say. Worcester, which for some reason we spell as Worcestershire and then say it's Worcester. And I was listening to a radio programme a while ago and they said that Worcester sauce, everything's got to have a sell-by date on it for some reason. And I don't figure that out because sugar never has a sell-by date on it. Not the bags I buy. So they've had to put a sell-by date onto Worcester sauce, but apparently that's got to be within 2 years. And now I could be wrong here, this is just what I'm remembering, which is scary, may not be right. Worcester sauce is best after like 3 years, so they were recommending that you ignored the bottle date and ate it later than they said. Now I'm not recommending that because I don't know, but that was interesting that just because of the law they had to put an earlier date than it was actually fully fermented. I don't think it was fermented, it was just for all the flavours to absorb. I'm not a big fan of Worcester sauce. I don't mind a little bit sprinkled into some mincemeat or something if I'm making a shepherd's pie. I tolerate it, so I don't bother do it generally. But a Worcester sauce bottle. Anything going on here? Oh, Adam said Dino's been eating too much mud. He's definitely been eating... Oh, Charlotte said he's been at the sauce. Yes. Ah, now Jill says she loves Lee and Perrins on cheese on toast. Right. Well, I like my cheese on toast with just a little bit of pepper on. Right, so now, before Phil comes down, we'll have the question from the Melon Foods bottle. Again, right, so we're now going to have a question, Phil's just arrived, about Melon Foods. So, which one is it? It's this one. Play along, everyone.
What?
You going to do the question on Melon Foods?
Yes, dear. I gotta get used to the light.
He's asleep.
I believe so.
For anybody...
He's faking it, I'm sure he is. He pretends he's sleeping and he shouts grandpa down the ringing speakers.
Right then.
Right,
so if I give you that and I'll do a...
already shown this, have you?
No.
No. Oh, there we go. Isn't that pretty?
Okay, I have already shown it.
I was impressed with how it cleaned up.
It did clean up very well.
It was thick with green gunk. And if that's what was in there originally, I do question their claim that it's the perfect replacement for mother's milk. Because what came out of there was not the perfect replacement for anything. But Mellins Food Limited of London were founded by a chemist who created a formula which was sold for babies.
And we all know that now, don't we?
Yep, you all know. You all knew before, did it?
Yes, we've had a discussion on it. You weren't you? Where were you? You were gallivanting around the house.
I'll tell you one
leaving me
thing,
on
my
my
glasses are upstairs, but I'll manage without.
Do you want to borrow mine?
I'm not going back into that room.
No, don't want to wake him up, borrow mine.
No way. Right then. So, Mellon Foods started producing infant formula with the slogan.
With the slogan.
Yes, the only perfect substitute for mother's milk. In which year?
This one?
1866, 1886, or 1906.
Ooh.
So, if you think they started production of their formula in A, 1866, put an A. If you think it's B, 1886, put a B. And if you think it was as late as 1906, they came up with their formula, then put a C.
Right, so what? Let me see where the answer was. I get my glasses. Right, okay then.
You already done question one, have you?
Yes, I have.
Cool.
We had a bit of a problem. I didn't know what the question was. I could read it, couldn't I? I read everything out, and then I couldn't figure out what was the question. And then I didn't know what your code was for which was the right answer. We figured it out in the end, didn't we? Between us all, we worked it out.
It's your fault finding a coconut on a Victorian dump.
I know. Can you show me again? I've forgotten. We chatted. I forgot. Right, okay then. So I'll find the right answer. Ah, there we go. We've got a right answer. There.
One. Well, I haven't even got logged in yet.
Right. Oh, well, it will be a while. Then do you want to do it off my page?
I'll do
and
it
then
off yours for now, yes,
right,
and
so
then I'll find
got
myself.
that one there. Sorry about this. We've
I think
unorganised.
I think
tonight.
I'm more asleep than Max.
Probably right. So there's the first one. There's a second one, and then I'll go looking for the third one. Oh no, there's the third one.
There we go. Oh, how nice of you to get three all on the same page for us.
Again, we're just going with
There we
where
go.
they've come up with us because the internet does different people
Yes.
at different times. So
Yeah, we were watching the live show with Sarah and Mick, and I noticed on there was a discrepancy over even on their quiz that they do, play your cards right. People saying, "Oh, I think so and so was before so and so."
very difficult because
And
everybody's
in all
screen
honesty,
is different.
the chat does not come up in the necessarily the same order for everyone. So we have to go with what's on the page in front of us. And we do have 3 correct answers. So we're going to give it to you now. And it may surprise you.
I might surprise you.
Yes,
Don't be very quiet.
I'm not surprised that out of the first 8 answers, 3 are correct and 5 are wrong.
Well, why does this not surprise you?
Because it does seem quite early, 1866, to be getting baby formula. It did feel early to me. You're talking early Victorian. And they were coming up with baby formula. That seemed early, but it's correct. So A is the right answer. So Jeff, you've got A. That
Well
puts
done,
you on
Jeff.
gold podium. Adam's Advanced Adventures Mudlarking with an Anchor.
He's got his nan with him.
Nan,
Well done.
Nan, I hope you're not telling him the answers. There we go. You got an A. And then just to catch us out, Rachel Bailey put number 1.
Yes. we
Which
found
is-
you. We almost missed you,
We
but we
nearly
found
missed
you.
you, but we got it. Number 1 counts. So there we go. So we've got Jeff, Adam, and Rachel. First,
done.
second, and third. But as I say, I really did think it was going to catch a lot of people. I thought most people would tend to go later because it seems like quite a modern phenomena to be having baby formula. But 1866, he was a chemist. He invented it, and there'll be another Mellon Foods question later in the show.
I just put that there. Do you want to pick a find? Any find?
Pick
a find to show me your find.
I'm going to go with...
Ooh, it's a hidden sweet shop.
I know. I'm going to go with that one.
Right. It's not one. No, I was going to say, I hope it's not another one I've already showed you.
No, there. No, this one. This.
You've got my glasses as well.
Yeah, that's fine. Come back.
Oh, thank you.
There we go. Oh, that is a pretty bottle. It's got the panels in each side. It tapers a lot of work went into this. They've even put a crisscross on the bottom, and you can see the join at the top there where it comes across on that side, and then you've got the raised sides. And at first, when we collected this, I don't think we realised there was anything written on it.
I can't remember.
I don't think we
saw
did.
so
It
many
was
bottles
filthy
that day, I
black
can't
inside.
remember.
There's bits I can't quite get out, but you can now see the colour, I hope. It's a beautiful colour. But it does have writing just around the top there. And it says Castle Brands Company, Newcastle. So there we go. It's a Newcastle bottle that had made its way down to Manchester and then ended up on the dump. And I thought that was an absolute beaut. I like that.
And Jill says lovely the way it tapers at the bottom. I think it really makes it much more interesting.
It
Just
does.
that little bit of coming in like that.
They just made that little extra effort, and quite a thick piece of glass. You can see they couldn't do thin glass back then, I don't think. So they just made a sort of attribute of it. And it's quite a lump in the bottom there. But the beautiful blue colour, which is the other thing I loved about this, is that beautiful colour to the glass. Victorian sort of early 20th century, end of the 19th century glass had that lovely colour to it, and so many lovely sort of little dings and imperfections that make them perfect. So there we go, that was my pick.
Charlotte said, never have I heard a basket of jangly bottles put down so quietly. I'm paranoid about clattering things, and that's where I get, sometimes Phil's putting things down right by the microphone, and I'll put my hand underneath to catch it before he goes clinky clinky clatter. So it's just my thing. Try to save. It's not so bad if you're watching TV, but if you've got headphones on, it can be quite...
I take it you've already showed everyone our basket previously.
No, I haven't showed
Well, the
everyone
basket
the
went over there. Yeah,
Yes.
very nice basket.
Where was it? Jan said, oops, she jumped, try denture cleaning tablets for getting the stubborn stuff out of fines.
Good idea. Good idea. Also, if you like the basket, there's 2 of them and they're on sale on eBay.
And Adam said, Nana is finishing off the cakes. It's just me for a while. Oh, I hope it's a lot of cake, and that way then you'll get a chance to do all the answering. No.
He's only saying that because he doesn't want me to think that Nana told him the answer.
Right, there we go.
That's what it is.
No, hope Nana's back soon. I hope she enjoys the show.
Indeed.
Right then. Flower Girl in Wood 17, just for your information to put out there, fish dipping sauces go all the way back to Roman times. It's a long time. Right then, so I'll show you my basket. Look at this. Now this basket, once upon a time, was red.
A very dark orange.
Didn't clean these very well. There's all mud dripping at the bottom. So, and it's yellow in there, but this is our vintage basket. An old shopping basket that's faded to yellow on the top. It's really useful for finds.
But that's because I found some finds in your bag.
Oh, look at the mud everywhere.
I found some finds in your bag, see?
Don't tell my son when he comes home. Clean up quick before he gets you.
Is there anything on that?
Anything on this? I shall tell you now. No, there is nothing on there other than mud.
Nothing but mud.
It's definitely mud.
Right. But here we go, folks. A pipe bowl with nothing but mud. Because we found 2 pipe bowls. We were given 1 pipe bowl, and the 2 that we found, and I'm not sure about the one that was given us, all had Dublin on them. But we've been reliably informed the street in Dublin where they were made isn't in Dublin. Never has been in Dublin. They made it up. So it was probably made in the north of England, or them naughty Scots. And I know we had a few naughty Scots in tonight. Them naughty Scots, they were banging out sort of pipes with Irish logos on them and selling them like hotcakes. Long before we had the knockoffs of today, with Nike and all the rest, they were knocking off clay pipes.
I know.
And selling them to the Irish workers.
Nothing's changed.
No.
Right, let's have another question because it's nearly past.
Now then,
You're on.
we don't have the piece of torpedo bottle with us. I'm 90% sure we don't. I was cleaning fines. I literally remembered that I had to clean the fines and bring them with us when we should have been leaving. So we delayed leaving for an hour for me to clean the fines, didn't we, love?
We did.
And Caroline was so good about it. When she was stood there waiting to leave with everything packed. But I spent an hour cleaning finds. But you remember what we found was the bottom piece of a torpedo bottle with some writing on it. But as Caroline pointed out at the time, if that had been whole, it wouldn't have been there. They'd have taken it and done a runner and sold it. But I want to ask a question about the torpedo bottle. What was the purpose of the torpedo bottle? Patented by W.F. Hamilton and also known as the Hamilton bottle in 1809. Was it A, the novelty factor? Were they created purely as a novelty? Was it B, to reduce sediment gathering in the bottom? Or C, to keep the cork wet? Which of those three was the purpose behind? Did they make it purely as a novelty? As we see today, you know, we get bottles in the shapes of all sorts. That would be A, novelty. B, to reduce the sediment build-up in the bottom of the bottle. Or C, to keep the cork wet.
Right, I think we have our first place there. Well done. Yes. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So they all fit in on the page again. Well done.
Oh, so good to them, isn't it? And now and there's it.
Just a second. No, yes, this would stop that, yeah. There we go. Bit of a debate here, bit of excitement, bit of quiet excitement.
So we got that letter there, look. So that's the 3.
Okie dokie.
Can I have your glasses? They're on top of your head.
Possibly.
And there's no way I'm going to be able to read those names otherwise. There we go. I managed to read the question.
Well done.
That's because I wrote it, but I didn't write these names. So, on this list, we now have 3 correct answers. I've got to say that I'm pleased that I caught out so many people with one of my answers. I thought it would. I thought that B would catch out a number of people, reduce the sediment. It wasn't B. And it wasn't for a novelty. It was C, to keep the cork wet. And the reason for that was it was designed for carbonated drinks. Remember we had the problem with the cod bottle that was the solution to the problem with the pops in the corks? Well, what they found was by keeping the cork wet, it kept a tight seal. Because the cork would begin to dry, the carbonated liquid would pop the cork out. So by tipping the bottle up on side, it was wet all the time. It didn't shrink, so it kept the cork in. So it was a contender with the cod bottle for solving that problem. So the people who got that right was Mudlarking Magpie.
Well done, Sarah.
That's Sarah. Followed very quickly, next on the list actually.
3 in a row.
3 in a row.
Jeff, you snuck in there. I didn't see your answer.
Yeah, Jeff. He's so quiet, see. But Jeff got a silver on this one because he came in, and directly behind Jeff was Lexi B, Lexi's Larks and Crafts.
Well
so
done,
we got
you 3.
3 in a row. Sarah, Jeff and Lexi, C, C, C. And
cool.
You're absolutely right. That was the technique he came up with. If I can keep the cork wet, it won't shrink, it won't pop out. And that's what they did. And that was in 1809. Now, I'm trying to think when the cod bottle was. Was it at that time, or was he a precursor to the cod bottle?
Like I could remember the dates.
I can't remember offhand.
Terrible with dates.
I'll have to check.
Somebody might know. Adam,
somebody may be able to check
Kyle
that
might
for
know.
us.
With the bottle digger type people could know.
Because at the moment, I'm not even signed in.
Sarah may know. There's lots of you out there should know. So when was the cod bottle
invented? Was it prior to 1809 or after? I know it was, I'm pretty sure it was in the 1800s, but I can't remember. 1866-ish?
Charlotte said 1866.
1872.
All the glitters said cod came after torpedo.
There we go. So obviously the torpedo was the first...
Adam said 1872.
Yeah, so the first concept for solving this problem was the Hamilton bottle, to give it its inventor's name, or the torpedo bottle that it became known as because of its shape. But then, I think, in fairness to Mr. Cod, he went that step further, because now you could at least stand your bottle up on the table. And he solved the problem in a way that was far more scientific.
Dan Fetter says, never set it down, drink faster and order more. And that would be a clever marketing ploy, wouldn't it?
There we go.
Yeah, that could well have been on their mind.
There you go. Right here then. So, what are we doing next?
Let's have a look. I'll do a find now and I'll do this pretty blue. Which oops, it's so disappointing because it's a bit of something. I think it's that way up. Do you think it was that way up? Let's have a look at the flowers, see if there's anything identifying. No. The colour on that is absolutely stunning. So I'm assuming it was a vase, or a vase. I don't think it was an apern because they tended to be much finer glass. Ah, that's definitely the bottom I can see. If I show you in there, can you see that? In there? The bottom all the way down there. So it was that way up. It's a vase or a vase. And that would have been the foot. Saying that, might not very much of a foot on it for that weight at the top. I wonder if that's why it's broken. If they probably put a few flowers in that were too long and boink, over it went. So definitely not an apron then. It is a vase with a foot on the bottom and some hand painting and some gilding. It's beautiful. I know Sarah's really good at rebuilding things like this. I'd like to, but it's just, I think it would just end up looking like sort of a blue vase with some blobs on. So I don't think that's going to work. Do you think you could fix that?
Pretty though.
I tell you could try cutting it. But then you still wouldn't have a foot. Then you could drill a hole, chip that off, pop that in.
Yeah,
it's
but what you
very technical, isn't it?
No, what you got to do is make it into something else. Forget it was a vase.
Right.
So you cut that off there, use that as the base, cut that off there and put a candle in the top. And it becomes a short, stumpy, beautiful blue candle holder.
Well, that's why Phil is the creative one, not me.
So chop the top off to take the candle within that top rim, chop the bottom off, put a foot on it, and you're away. Hey presto. But I must say, and I'm sure Sarah will agree with me, it's easier said than done. We could talk a good talk, can't we, Sarah? We talk about cutting all sorts of things, and they're still stacked up in our sheds and offices and homes, waiting to be cut. Yes, indeed. Let's knock my volume off a second, because I'm now signed in.
Tepper said you could glue it with the red glass base you found. Oh, that'd be really colourful, wouldn't it? Mixing the two glasses together. I love coloured glass. I don't wonder what it is. You know, it's just a junky old bit of glass off a tip. Something about coloured glass.
You've already shown her the blue glass.
I have, yes.
Oh, there we are. So you're just ahead of the game.
Right.
I don't know where I am. I wasn't here.
Do you want one? Would you like to pick something from my magic basket of tricks?
Oh, where's I go?
Ooh.
Don't make a noise.
Ooh. You want more? He wants more. He's insatiable, this man. What are you after now?
So there we go.
There we go.
I'm going to be greedy because I like showing the finds, but the time goes so quick we never get them shown.
No.
So I'm going to show you 3.
3.
Yeah, I'm going to show you this one because of all the bubbles in it. That is one very bubbly bit of glass.
I love bubbles.
Tiny bubbles, and just there at the top, see on the collar, quite a large bubble for such a small vase. A snap top. Not sure what was in it, but strangely enough, it looks grey. But when you put water in there to clean this, it comes out red.
Right.
It comes out a orangey
sort
red.
of pigment then.
So although it looks a grey brown in the bottom there, it turns red. I had red water pouring out of this thing, a sort of rusty red colour. So that's one. This is a slightly bigger butty, which has got just as many little bubbles, but larger ones this time. And this time, the colour blue in the glass is gorgeous.
It is lovely, isn't it? The colour, I think, is the most stunning than the bubbles.
Yeah.
Really nice one.
That one for the aqua colour, in that bluey, greeny colour, which you can see quite strong in the base there, in the glass. Love it. The base is all off centre. Nothing is right about these bottles. It's perfect imperfection in every way. Another one, snap top. Now this is not a snap top, but this is a following on from those to slightly later design.
Now Flower Girl in Ward 17 said, was it for iodine maybe? Could have been when it was running that sort of rusty red.
Possibly.
Good
Quite
point.
possibly. But this one, unlike the others, not only is it not got, well, it's got 1 or 2 tiny little bubbles. It's better formed. It's far more spherical in the bottom. It's even got a little bit of a mark there from the bottle maker. But then on the front, it's also got the company name embossed in raised glass there. They've put that on there, which is, as I've got your glasses on, Joshua Gibson, and he's of Manchester, and we even know what went in it is furniture cream.
There you are.
So there we are, Mr.
sounds
Joshua
intelligent.
Gibson from Manchester, furniture cream. Lovely little bottle. Didn't have a clue what we had when we picked them up because these were all stinking dirty, all left behind by the bottle diggers, and now taking up place in our collection.
Oh, bottle digging with Kai said, wow, I love that. Don't see too many bottles that shape with embossing.
No.
You lucked out with that one. Oh, thank you, Kai.
That's one of the I didn't realise it was embossed because it was so filthy. But to be honest, that's what struck me is you're absolutely right. We see it, Kyle, on larger bottles generally. To see that little chap is quite nice, and it's very clear as well.
Random RJ Awesome said leather feed could well be that stuff they put on the leather to keep it less supple, couldn't it?
Furniture cream, that's what he called it.
Perhaps it's just something general made with beeswax that you put on anything.
When you're trying to get it out of there,
You would
I
need
would
to be a bit
imagine
runny, wouldn't
you'd
it?
have to have it quite liquid, wouldn't you? Otherwise you'd be leaving a lot in the bottom of the bottle. But I was very pleased with those, and I thought these... Whoa, there it goes. Okay, now we got two. And one laptop.
Yes.
No, I thought they were quite a nice progression of a very similar style.
Oh, Lisa. Thank you, Lisa.
Oh,
Pinch your glasses. I can't see. Pinch his glass. They're my glasses. Lisa, grab a $3 super chat. Thank you so much, Lisa. And a smiley cat as well.
if I remember from an email I had, it's Grey B.
Lisa Gravy,
Grey,
that's right.
grey
yes.
as in the colour, B as in the bundle.
So thank you so
There we
much,
are. I
Lisa.
remember,
we really
Lisa.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Because of the way Lisa explained it, it stuck in my head. I was saying in school, I could remember things. I need longer explanations. Just telling me isn't enough. You tell me something and it's gone. So Caroline always marvels because I'll use an old story to remember one line.
Yes.
But it's the only way my brain works. But that's lovely. Thank you very much, Lisa. Most appreciated. But there we go, folks. 3 very similar bottles with their own distinct character and personalities and reasons for being beautiful.
Right, let's have another question. Do we need to find the next question? No, right. There
No,
we go.
because you've already shown both finds relevant to this next question.
Well, there we
One
go.
was over there, if you want to pass it over, the poison bottle.
Right.
Because we have 2 pieces of blue glass. This one being a bright and better example of what I'm about to ask you. So it's all to do with blue glass.
Who first?
Yeah.
I can
So,
see.
The recipe for blue glass was discovered, or at least was written down and recorded and explained in a chemical fashion by a chemist, George Brandt, in 1742. But the product goes back way before then. People were making this before they knew what they were doing. In other words, they took this stuff, they put it into the mixture, and this happened, and they didn't know why, but they knew it did, so they did it. It took a chemist many years later to actually work out exactly what cobalt is, where it comes from, and why it does what it does. So they were making it so far back that a piece of cobalt blue glass was found in the tomb of Tutankhamun.
Right.
Yep, Tutankhamun. It was a piece of blue glass in his tomb, which was definitely, he was put in there before 1742. Long
A
time
little bit
before.
before that, yes.
And the earliest known example is from Mesopotamia and dates to which of these dates? Was it A, 2000 BC, the first piece of blue glass, B, 1200 BC for the first piece of blue glass, or C, 800 BC for the first piece of blue glass?
Check which one was the right answer.
So
Emma?
what do you think it was? A, 2000 BC, that they had the first piece of blue glass so far known in Mesopotamia? Because it could be older, but we haven't found it yet. Was it B, 1200 BC, or was it C, 800 BC? What would be your
right.
guess, folks? What would be your guess?
Crafty Caravan has said that their hometown of Bristol is famous for blue glass. Yes,
Yes.
Bristol blue they call it, don't they? You can get something Bristol blue, you're doing really well. People love it.
It's all to do with marketing.
Is it?
It's all to do with marketing.
There's a man who knows, but
They were making blue glass all over Britain and around the world before Bristol Blue became Bristol Blue. But there was a young man, I've forgotten his name, I was reading it up earlier on when looking for questions.
Really memorable then.
No, but I remember this, he was 17.
Right.
17 years of age, joined his dad at the glassworks, and he really pushed the blue glass. And it's from there that Bristol became absolutely renowned. And of course, the other reason why Bristol galvanised the name Bristol Blue was because when they exported it, it came from all over the country, but it all went through Bristol Port. So it is known worldwide as Bristol Blue, even though it was being made throughout Europe, around the world.
Ooh, so I was conned by that one as well then.
So it
because I
wasn't the
thought
only place making it. No.
I thought it was all from Bristol.
But they marketed it well, and they found that they could sell blue glass for more than any other colour glass. Which
See why, it's very pretty.
makes it very, very...
Right, we've got our answers in, so...
And I think the babes just woke up.
Uh-oh.
So we've
I
got...
think-
The right answer is...
I think the parents might be back too.
I just should on there. Don't know if you got that. There we are. We're just passing the baby monitor to the parents.
Okay.
And the correct answer, and we've got quite a few correct answers actually,
We're back.
and it's 2000 BC. Yeah,
Well done.
Two
Oh, everybody who got that right.
1000 BC, and the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 answers are correct. And yes, Jeff, you were correct as well, but you are the 7th answer. So top of the list, Lisa Roberts,
Well done, Lisa.
followed quickly by Lynn Bean.
Well
Hi,
done,
Lynn.
Lynn.
And then a bit of information from Sheila T, who says from copper ore. Absolutely right, but that wasn't the question. So
Well done anyway.
you can stand on a podium all of your own because you got that question right. Brilliant. It is from copper ore, yes. And Mo.
Well done, Mo.
So Lisa, Lynn and Mo, AAA, quickly followed by Adams Advanced Ventures, Mark Birchall and Jeff.
Well done.
There we go. So that was a long time ago, 2000 BC, that's 4,000 years ago. Yet, a scientist in 1742 got the credit for actually discovering the formula for blue gas, because he actually wrote it down, which makes
Now-
all the difference in the world, I'm sure.
Charlotte picked up on something interesting.
Oh.
She said, is that why Harvey Sherry is Bristol as it's in blue bottles? Harvey's Bristol cream, they call it, don't they? It's in a blue bottle.
Well, I'm sure if it was from Bristol, they would certainly have used blue bottles because it is
Yes.
Bristol Blue.
Good point. It's something I wouldn't have thought of. Very interesting.
But it is one of those cases where Bristol marketed it, and then other people were happy to produce Bristol Blue wherever they were making it. They were happy for it to be called by the generic name because that's what was selling. But they did produce it in Bristol. It was a massive success. I believe it was in the 1700s, and it was, I know it was a young man of 17 joined his father's firm and pushed them in that direction, and Bristol Blue became the favoured name.
Lexi said, my neighbour announced he had found an old blue bottle in his garage. It was a Bristol cream one. I'm older than it. Oh, he was excited. Did you break it to him, or did you just let him, in blissful ignorance, show everybody his antique bottle? Right then, there we go. Let's... Oh, Flugelbinder, thank you so much. You got $8.99 super chat.
And a
And a
dancer
dancing
with
melon.
with
Lemon.
maracas.
Dancing lemon with my... Oh, thank you so much. We really
You've done
appreciate that. That's very kind of you.
So kind.
And a very cute lemon too, which I
So
said
kind.
melon for. So it's been a long day.
It has. It's been a very long day and a very long night.
Right, let's have another question. Are we on
Well,
the
hang
last
on,
question
we've only
yet?
got one question, so we've got plenty of time for
Oh,
that.
right,
We
have
can
you
do some
got it? Let's
finds.
have a find.
We've got lots of finds left in there, haven't we?
Not anymore.
Have you shown any of these?
No, none of those have been shown.
There you go.
So, oh, look at that. Look at Phil's face. He's making the choice. Ooh,
There you go.
Which one's
I've got
you
3.
happy now?
You find 3 and then you can show you 3. Or do you want to show 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 then?
Well, I'll show you the tile.
Right, well then you show the tile. See how many finds we can do in 5 minutes.
And this says, now I couldn't figure out, I thought this said childee who or something. It's not, it's, oh, come on, focus, silly camera. Childhood. I thought it was childee hood or something. And he's got his cute little child all dressed up with flowers in their hair and some flowers.
I love the way they decided to write that, though. They didn't even write the word child.
No.
They got chill, and then a duh, and then a who, and then a duh.
But they couldn't fit it on otherwise.
Yeah, but they didn't think to write it
Purely
down.
practical.
You know, it's quite an old tile to have done that. You wouldn't do that later on, would it?
No.
You'd have found a way to write it at an angle.
But it's a really, that way. It's a really lovely tile. Can you imagine if that was whole? Or even if they did like a set of 12 or something like that? It would be beautiful. So I do love that tile. I think that's one of the nicest ones I've seen. And I've seen lots of like Art Nouveau type flowers and things like that. But that one, because of the child on it and the writing, I think is just really good.
There you go. Come on, we're doing as many finds as we can in 5
Okay,
minutes.
then let's go for a find. Word for fast.
Did you notice there's a mark on the back?
No.
I don't know what it says. There we go, folks. That's my choice of find for the moment. It's a nice little pot. It's got 2 dings there. Just one there, one there. But turn him around, he's perfect. And I like that simply for the size. It's not teeny weeny, but it's not big like many of them. It's a lovely little pot.
Well, mine, I got a milk glass. And look at that, it's got a pattern on it. I haven't seen one like that. Shame the neck's broken on it. I'd like to show you, I don't think there's absolutely nothing on the bottom. So, I don't know, I would say something like aftershave. I don't know if you agree with me. It's got lots of X's on it. You give Voxel, isn't it? So that's my find.
That is the ball that we found. Now what Caroline may not know is when I cleaned up this ball, there was a revelation.
A revelation?
Now they may have had rubber in Victorian times, but they didn't have this kind of rubber, and they certainly didn't have the magic roundabout.
Oh.
And I believe that's Hermantrude.
Oh dear, that's definitely Max crying. But it's not our responsibility now. Mum and Dad are back, we're okay.
There you go, Hermantrude the cow, and I washed it because it was filthy thinking. There he was.
Oh, Lynette, thank you so much, Lynette O'Connell. A $10 Canadian super chat. Been watching for a while, catching up. Oh, thank you so
lovely.
much, Lynette. That's really kind of you. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
And I'm sure if you've been catching up, you'll have been leaving comments. I'm 5 days behind on comments because I was so busy at work, and I will be when I get back, but then we've come away for the weekend, so I will catch up, and if you've been leaving comments, you will be getting answers, I promise you.
Right, next is me. Look at that. I thought it was just like a little inkwell, but then I saw that with the handle on, so it was a mini tankard. So I don't know how old that is. Probably Victorian. And we did find another one, but it's not with us, which is slightly bigger than that. So they may well have been some like gradated, is it they call it, where they go up in sizes to something huge and enormous.
Graduated, is it?
Graduated, yeah, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. And here's another one for size, and that is a marmalade or jam pot, better known in our area as ridged pottery, but perfect little pot, and as you can tell by it sitting on my hand, a lovely little size. I've never seen one that small. They're all pretty much of a muchness, about 3 times that big, aren't they?
Yeah,
But
it's a
that
really
was a
cute
big.
one, that.
So there we go, that's cleaned up nicely, and I'm sure we'll be able to find a use for that.
Now this one says Lee & Co. Globe, and they are mineral waters, Salford. It's only a little bit there, but we've got the important bit, the bit with the writing on. Let's see if I can get it to focus. There. And I like the fact that it's not all even. They stamped it on, and it really didn't take very well. So I like things that are not quite right, and that's not quite right, but very nice.
Now, this hasn't been cleaned up as effectively as the others, and there's a good reason which I'll explain in a moment. But it is got that lovely sense of the neck there is thinner than the neck there, purely because that's how it was made. It's misshapen. But what I loved about it was, on that side there, that's the remains of the label.
unreadable, not much
No,
left
there's
at all.
virtually nothing left, but I didn't want to wash it off. You could see where the label was on the bottle. And I just thought that ghost of a label was just something pretty, because we rarely see that. So a
James
paper
said the
label,
ball with Ermintrude is the 70s. And all the glitter said, do you know how many ridges are on a standard ridge pottery marmalade? Yes, 734, I counted them.
she's lying.
I have no idea. Got his little jug. Handle missing again. Obviously a common fault. And it's now got a lip with a V in. So you could use that to strain things, couldn't you? Or stick a new handle on and stick a flower in it. I think that's more likely. Good.
Snap top. Snap top. This one, tall and thin. This one, thin, square, short. But two bottles with similarities, but totally different. This one has the dip in the sides, as well as in the front, and then it's flat on the back. This one is spherical, but the colours on them, that's what I love, is the colour of the glass. Absolutely beautiful.
Linda said, I turned from my screen, came back, and I thought Phil was kissing your neck, but he was, I think he's supposed to be reaching behind me rather than teaching behind me. Yes, no passion on this show. We're far too busy trying to show finds. We can't stop. We're going really quickly. I go, Hoover. Now, vacuum cleaners, I don't know if it's the same in other countries, but in Britain, because Hoover was such a popular make of vacuum cleaner, now we all call it the Hoover, whether it's a Hoover or not. So, a little bit of social history there. A very common make of vacuum cleaner.
Indeed.
Right.
Should we do the question?
Let's do the question.
And we have a couple of finds to finish. Righty-ho. The question is about our Mellins food. I said there'd be a second one about Mellins.
Right.
I thought, because this guy is very interesting.
Very interesting.
Yes.
He's just interesting, he's very interesting.
No, because Mellin Foods not only made bold claims, like the perfect substitute, the only perfect substitute for mother's milk, but they also used bold advertising methods.
Bold advertising method.
Such as sponsoring the construction of A, was it a hot air balloon?
Ooh.
B, was it an airship?
Ooh.
Or C, was it a biplane, which they then had fly across London from Crystal Palace to Harrow, bearing the logo of their product.
Ooh.
And they did that in 1902, nearly 120 years ago.
Ooh.
1902, do you think
I've
it
got
was
my guess.
a hot air balloon, an airship, or a plane?
I was right.
A for the hot air balloon, B for the airship, C for the plane. Which do you think they sponsored the building of, so that they could simply send it up, fly it across London with the name of their company, Mellins Food,
Why not, if you've got it flaunted?
blazoned across it? What do you think, folks? How are we doing?
Yeah, we've got our answers in already, and they're all nicely compacted again, which is really good. Saves me trying to move up and down the screen.
Right, so I can see two.
So there, oh no, there, and there.
Ah,
Three. See.
That's because I haven't got glasses.
Do you want to borrow my glasses?
Okay, right, 'cause if I can't see
Say
the
the wrong
letters,
person's
if
name.
I can't see the letters, I certainly won't see the names. It's looking
Right.
very good. Okay then, folks.
Here we go.
Right, they didn't just commission this, but what they commissioned was the first of these.
Ooh.
They commissioned it, the guy built it, he flew it, and all they asked was that their name be placed right across it, and it was big, because it was an airship.
Pretty impressive, isn't it? Can you imagine that
Yeah.
when people hadn't seen one before? It was like, whoa.
I saw a picture of it. There's a picture, when I was doing the research, there's a photograph of this thing taken off, and it's a full-size airship for carrying people underneath, and it's got Mellin Foods, and they flew that from Crystal Palace to Harrow so that everybody could see it. It wasn't just who saw it, but it made the news. It was like space flight today, really. It was in the news, it was in, everybody was taking photographs, all the press were there, it went all over the country. For that one flight, they got
Very
wall to
exciting.
wall. Very clever. The Richard Branson of their day, when it came to capturing a bit of free coverage.
Right, so.
And we have correct answers galore, which are
There.
Mark Burchell,
Well done, Mark.
followed directly by Dan Fetters,
Well done, Dan.
and followed straight behind by Ed Creative. So
Well
it's
done, Ed.
Mark, Dan and Ed. You have got first, second and third on that question, because he did indeed, Melon Foods actually commissioned the first airship that flew across London.
Jan said, you do know Phil Marks will come down for breakfast wearing Grandpa's glasses, don't you?
Yes.
Probably.
They are on the ottoman at the bottom of his bed.
Yeah, so you think he's so cool wearing Grandpa's glasses?
Right, if I can show one more find before we go, because has this one been shown?
Yes. No, I show this one.
You showed that one.
Yeah, you need to show that one.
Yeah, I need to show this one, because that one was my
organisation now.
that was my best find, and is my best one of Manchester. But look at this, folks. It's a cod bottle with the marble in, and actually the rubber seal is still inside there. So one complete cod bottle with a nick out of the top. And now on the live show, I said big thank you to Sarah, because we were in the same area searching through the bottle diggers spoils, and Sarah spotted this, picked it up and passed it to me and said, there you are, Phil, there's your cod bottle. So it's the first cod bottle that we have been on a dig, and or we've been on a search, and it's been found while we were there, even though I didn't actually pick it up first, but it was given to me. So that now stands in my collection until such times as I find one of my own that is whole. But
It's pretty impressive.
that is very nice indeed. So big thank you to Sarah for her kindness. Big thank you to Sarah and Mick for making these videos possible as we joined them up there.
Is it a slag in the bottom?
No, that's the I just said it's the
Sorry, I
rubber
wasn't. I
seal.
was reading. I was getting carried away. Sorry. You're far too interested in the
See,
chat.
she's
You
1
distracted
foot away
me.
from me and doesn't hear a thing I say. No, it's the seal.
Right.
It's the seal that
I
would
knew
have been
that. I know.
complete.
I was just testing you to see if you knew it was a
To
seal.
see if I remembered that I just said it.
Yes.
Well, I do. So there we go, folks. There we have my first cod bottle for my collection from going on a trip and bringing it back with us.
Yes.
So we will continue the search for the Holy Grail, a complete and whole one with no dings that I actually discovered myself. But that was a fantastic present. We've had a great time.
Yep.
Sorry for all the ups and downs chasing around with Max. He actually accompanied us on our filming today.
Oh yes, we even got
were
max cam footage.
yeah, of his feet.
For the next video. So
Yeah, that should be interesting. So that'll all go together, I'm sure, hopefully by the end of the week, and it'll be out on Friday.
and there's probably going to be an overdose of cuteness because Max got hold of Manky and they got up to things together. So
At one point, he was teaching Manky Panda to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
and we didn't catch that on camera.
No, but it was so cute. Camera or no camera, you know, it was so cute. He was teaching Manky how to do head, shoulders, knees, and toes. And he only went up to bed tonight on the promise that I would tell him the story of where Manky came from. And but I think it could be a long night for the mum and dad. But hopefully they enjoyed their evening out. We've enjoyed our evening with you.
Robert T. Rhodes said, from a slouching Philosaurus to shading false teeth, this show has been shattering false teeth, put my glasses on, shading false teeth. This show has been extraordinary. As always, thanks, Caroline and Phil. Well, we've been extraordinary. It definitely is out of the norm, this show.
Who was sharing the false teeth?
I'm not sure where that came in.
I don't know. I was away for 20 minutes. I don't know what you've been up to.
I can't remember what I've been up to. I've been so much going on.
But we've been here, Caroline all the time, me most of the time. You, folks, wherever you are, have been here with us too, and that makes it fantastic.
Yes, it's been great. And the chat's been far too interesting and absorbing. I keep getting sort of, ooh, I have to step away from the chat, otherwise I'll just be completely engrossed with the whole show.
It looks like Big Dov just arrived, so in time for us to say, Big Dov and everyone else,
Wait a minute, we'll see you all next time. But until then, don't forget, have fun. Bye.
Bye.